So if you're a leader working with AI, you are staring down a massive choice right now. Is AI policy something that just happens to you, or are you going to be someone who actually shapes it? We're going to talk about how to get out of that reactive mode and into a proactive one. And frankly, why it's probably the most important strategic move you can make. And that quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? This isn't just about code of business plans anymore. As leaders, we're right on the front lines of this huge societal shift. Our responsibility in guiding it, in a way that's actually good for people, has never been more crucial. Seriously, take a second and think about that question. Your gut reaction to it probably tells you everything you need to know. The old school way of thinking is that policy is just this thing that happens, an external force you have to deal with. But the leaders who are going to win the next decade, they see it completely differently. They see it as something they can actually build. And that shift in thinking, well, it creates a brand new mandate for anyone in a leadership position in this AI era. It's a fundamental change in what our jobs are. We're moving from just passively complying with rules to actively creating the environment we operate in. So, here's the bottom line. Waiting around is not a strategy anymore. The most forward-thinking leaders out there are not sitting on the sidelines watching regulations get written. No way. They are in the room, they're at the table, and they're bringing their expertise to help build a policy environment that's both sensible and effective. How you approach all of this really just comes down to your mindset. I mean, when you see this growing wave of AI policy, do you see it as a threat that's going to slow you down? Or do you see it as a massive opportunity to lead the way? It really boils down to two totally different ways of looking at the world. On one side, you've got the tactical view, right? This is seeing policy as nothing more than a checklist, a compliance burden, basically just a cost center. But on the other side, you've got the visionary view, which sees a strategic landscape that they can actually help create, leading to better outcomes for their business, their industry, and society. And this right here is the prize. Getting involved in policy isn't just playing defense. It is about gaining a real, tangible, strategic advantage. Think about it. When you help light the rules of the road, you're not just following the map anymore. You're one of the people drawing it. Okay, so if the goal is to help draw that map, your very first step has to understand the terrain. You just can't influence what you don't know. So where in the world do you start? This is basically your homework assignment. You have to get smart on the current rules, but also what's coming next. You need to know who the key players are, think about standards bodies, major industry groups, all of it. This isn't about becoming a lawyer, it's about being an informed, strategic leader who knows the lay of the land. And this is so important. Just showing up with a vague idea of what's going on, that just doesn't cut it. Your credibility, your ability to have any influence, it all comes from doing the work to develop a genuinely informed point of view. That's what gets you a seat at the table. All right, so you've done your homework. You get the landscape. Now what? How do you actually start to make a difference? What tools do you even have? Turns out, you've got a whole toolkit you can use. You can offer expert testimony, you can get directly involved in developing new standards like ISO, or you can join and lead big industry coalitions like the Partnership on AI. You could also fund academic research, become a thought leader. The point is, there are a ton of different ways to make your voice heard. But here is the secret sauce. Your advocacy is only powerful when it comes from a place of real expertise. Policymakers are drowning in opinions. What they're starved for is real, credible knowledge. When you provide that, instead of just lobbying for your own narrow commercial interests, you become an incredibly valuable, trusted resource. At the end of the day, it all comes down to being authentic. Pushing for policies that are actually good for the public isn't just some nice, altruistic thing to do. It's the smartest long-term strategy. It builds trust, it boosts your reputation, and it gives you a solid foundation for influence that lasts. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, the why and the what. Now, let's bring this down to earth. How can you start applying this thinking like tomorrow morning? Here's a super simple framework. First, just identify the single biggest idea you've taken away from this, the one thing that really clicked. Second, find exactly where that idea applies to a problem you're dealing with right now. And third, plan your very first, very small action step. Who do you need to email? What meeting needs to be scheduled? And what you're doing when you go through this process, it's not just about learning policy. You're actually building something way more valuable, your leadership judgment. And that quality, the ability to see the whole picture and make smart calls when things are messy, that's what separates the true visionaries from the tactical managers. Seriously, the work you're doing by thinking this deeply about your role and how you can shape the future, that is exactly what is needed right now. your company, your industry, they are all counting on it. So keep going. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Who else on your team or in your entire organization needs to start thinking this way? Because spreading these ideas is the very first step to building a powerful coalition for truly visionary leadership. Thanks for tuning in.